Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am in the place that I have never seen before. First time visiting this area actually, this very spot here, the pond. I think this is called Christie Prudi. I was around this area but never really in this particular spot, and I want to start this video telling you how incredible Bolshoi Theater is that I had absolute pleasure to attend yesterday. And of course the performance I saw was not Dr. Zhivago. I don't know why I said Dr. Zhivago yesterday. It was Boris Godunov. Incredible place to see, incredible performance, the music, the costumes, scenography. Every aspect of that piece of art is remarkable, and if you ever have a chance to visit Bolshoi and spend your money to get the tickets can be very, very pricey, guys. I was blessed to have it in quite reasonable price. Like I said, 7,000 rubles, 7,200 rubles to be exact, which is not cheap, but for the performance that you see, for the place that you experience, it's like nothing, to be honest. So, you know, people blow the money for paying for the satellites and TVs and fake news. They spend much more annually, right? So I just want to say that I had incredible time. The pictures you can see in the community page, I posted it this morning. Also on my Instagram, I created Reel, which is like a combination of videos with the music. And the music actually is from Boris Godunov. I mean, the voices of the artists, incredible. I was not able to perform during that, and that was as a respect to the artists as well. But if you're interested in seeing it, go to my Instagram. I put some pictures on locals as well, and then on my community page. And just to say one more thing here, if Anna is watching, Anna is one of you. She's a subscriber. She's from Moscow, she lives in Moscow, and she found me. She found me because I posted the picture of the ticket. So she knew exactly on what floor I am. And she found me in the crowd, and we met on every break that was in between the show. And I am so happy to meet you, Anna. So saying hello again to you. Thank you so much for finding me and for spending that time with me there during the breaks. And that's about it, guys. What else I have to tell you? Any updates from personal stuff? Not really, because I'm not gonna go too personal. Except that I have 5 more days here. So this is my last week here in Moscow. I will be leaving on the 21st of September, heading to my next destination that is warmer. And you will see where I'm going. But today, what do I have for you? I have 3 articles and 3 topics. I would like to start with the first one, which is a continuum from yesterday's topic in relation to the scandal with issuing Polish visas. And why this is important. You know, it's getting more serious with this, because the level of corruption here was quite significant. There is a chance, there is a possibility that Poland might be suspended from the Schengen area. Schengen areas are the countries in European Union which you don't need passport to enter. You just need your ID. In Poland, for example, driving license. That's about it. I mean, ID and driving license, right? That's about it. You don't need passport. And because of this visa scandal, it might be very, very possible that Poland will be suspended from the Schengen visa. I'm gonna read you a little bit from this article. It says the visa scandal is becoming more and more widespread. Let me just put my hand on this here. Widespread. The transit routes even led to the United States. This will reduce the trust in us, in Poland, that means, of our Western partners, which is probably not too high today, says Andrzej Byrt, former ambassador of the Republic of Poland to Germany and France. Before I continue, there were many people who used to work in diplomatic department in Poland, diplomats, who were commenting on this incident with issuing those visas. And one of them says that the consequences might be far reaching, and the diplomats indicate that the matter is serious, from loss of trust to, in extreme cases, even exclusion of suspensions of the rights of a member of the Schengen area. Those are the indicators. You might read this article yourself. I'm not going to give you the full article because it might be boring, but just the main, the highlight of it. If it goes this far, I don't think it will, but if it goes this far, actually now I have the second thought here, that might limit an exit for Poles, okay? So think about it. To exit Poland, in case if there is a mobilization, you know, majority of people probably have passports, right? But there will be some who don't, and they might have the letters coming. I don't know, it's just me like free-flowing now and thinking. It's an option, right? Didn't think about it when I was reading this article. And now let me get to the second one. This is from TASS. Those will be words from President of Russia, Vladimir Putin. And I want to read this entire article to you because I think it's important and it's good to have straight to the point approach here and narrow it to few topics. It's from yesterday, September 15th, and it says Russia doesn't need foreign mercenaries, is the title of it. So the Russian president reiterated Moscow's readiness for talks with Ukraine and called on the Kiev authorities to stop dancing to the tune of others. And it's coming from Sochi from yesterday, September 15th. As many as 300,000 volunteers have signed contracts with the Russian army since the beginning of this year. So we have 2023. So Russia doesn't need to recruit foreign mercenaries. Russian President Vladimir Putin said on Friday during his meeting with President of Belarus, Alexander Lukashenko. He reiterated Moscow's readiness for talks with Ukraine and called on the Kiev authorities to stop dancing to the tune of others. And here are the remarks from Putin. It will be in few points, few topics. First one is about talks with Ukraine. Moscow has, quote from him, never refused to have talks with Kiev. So please, if the other side is willing, let them state that openly. But from the other side, we hear nothing. The tango is a nice dance, of course, he said, commenting on United States Secretary of State Antony Blinken's words that Russia and Ukraine will finally dance their tango. But I think it's important that Ukraine not forget how to dance to gopak, traditional Ukrainian folk dance. I'm not sure if I pronounced this dance correctly. That is what is important, he said. Otherwise, they will always have to dance to the tune of others. So this was about talks with Ukraine. Second is about the volunteers. Some 300,000 Russians have signed voluntary service contracts with the Russian army as of this morning. These people are ready to sacrifice their lives in the interest of their homeland, protecting Russia's interests. And first and foremost, our men who signed these contracts are being led by the highest patriotic sentiments. This alone is worthy of respect, he said. Allegations that Russia has asked North Korea for volunteers to take part in the special military operation are complete nonsense. Russia has no such a need to resort to outsourcing the special military operation to nobody from the outside. Guys, me and my notes, this is like old school handwriting, I'm telling you. Let's continue. This was about the mercenaries. So we have about talks with Ukraine, we have about the mercenaries, and now we have about the cluster munitions. Cluster munitions are used by the Ukrainian side in the widest possible way. There is one country that thinks it is exceptional, the United States. Even what is considered to be a crime, it takes the liberty of doing itself. In fact, the United States is using cluster munitions, in this case with the Ukrainian hands. That's what they say. And the next one from Putin is about United States role. And we have one more. So we have five underlining topics here. About US role. The United States seeks to resolve all problems with a position of force, be it through the use of economic sanctions. 1 second, tramway is passing. Economic sanctions or financial restrictions, or threatening to use military force or compelling the use of force. They are trying to teach someone else while they themselves are clueless and they are unwilling to learn. Isn't it so, huh? And the last one is about cooperation with North Korea, and then you will know in a nutshell from Putin. North Korea is our neighbor. One way or another, we have to establish good neighborly relations. Yes, there are certain peculiarities related to the Korean Peninsula, which are discussed openly. Moscow never violates anything, and in this case will not violate anything. But of course, we will look for opportunities to develop Russia-North Korea relations. So this article as well you find in the link in the description box. My hand is getting tired. You know what, I think, I didn't say this, sidetracking now. That the show took 4 hours last night, okay? So it started 7 p.m. and I was at the theater until 11, FYI, if you're wondering. Now, the last article I have is about the threats that Kiev is, not the city, but the Kiev administration, the government, is directing towards against Russians MFA. And let me just see. Okay, guys, so this is Moscow to press for proper response to Ukraine's death threats against Russian MFA. We will seek an adequate response from specialized multilateral organizations to such a blatant, cruel and cynical outburst by the Kiev regime. This is coming from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs from yesterday, from the September 15th. By the way, the end of Mercury retrograde. Those of you who know. And then computers act strangely. Look my life with Andrei Martyanov. So Moscow is outraged by the Kiev's regime threats against Russian journalists, state and public figures, the Russian Foreign Ministry said in a statement. And Russia is outraged by this latest manifestation of the terrorist nature of the Kiev regime, which, with the connivance, I'm not sure if I pronounce this word, connivance I think, of its Western sponsors, has been spreading death threats against Russian journalists, frontline correspondents, and state and public figures. The official representative of the Ukrainian Territorial Defense Forces, Sarah Ashton Cirillo, who is a US citizen, has come out with direct calls for killing employees of the Russian media and state and public organizations involved in covering the special military operation. This is what the Foreign Ministry of Russia has said. Its commentary points out that these statements are brimming with bloodthirsty details of how exactly the Ukrainian thugs envision these crimes being carried out. Moreover, they try to justify such inhuman reasoning by calling it a mission to restore justice, the foreign ministry stated. We will seek an adequate response from specialized multilateral organizations to such blatant, cruel and cynical outbursts by the Kiev regime. They are bringing up the names here of the people like Daria Dugina, and I have few names here, so let me read you. I don't know all those names and I don't know all those people, but Daria Dugina, of course, who were killed. Rostislav Zuravliev, Zuravliev, Oleg Klokov, Vladlen Tatarski, and Zakhar Prilepin, and Konstantin Malofeyev, I think. So if you know who they were, you can put in the comments down below, especially those of you who are watching me from Russia. Majority of them, I believe, were journalists, but if they were holding some positions in the government maybe, or some government officials, put in the comments down below so you can share it with the audience as well. The feeling of absolute impunity and permissiveness formed as a result of the Western handlers, intentional with any atrocities by their minions, inspires this to commit more crimes. So guys, this is all I have for you today. Those 3 topics. Meanwhile, someone has a car with a very loud engine, and there are many cars like this here. But that's all I have for you today. I will see you tomorrow with another video. Not much moving today. This is because it's because. And join me on locals, as I always emphasize. Those of you, especially when I bring articles like this, right? This is the car. White one. Voila. You have it. And those of you who want to see more pictures, you follow me on Instagram. Thank you so much to all of you who purchased coffee for me for my trip to China. Very, very grateful for that. And what else? Yeah, you find me on Rumble. Join my mailing list to stay in touch. If you want to become a member of the channel, you can do it as well. It starts with $2.99, and I will end this video with the ducks. So let me just stop here and show you. People are feeding them. It's a cool place. Lots of love, everyone. Remember, we are the leading edge. And yes, we are saving the humanity. Bye, everyone. I see you tomorrow.